Welcome. I'm so glad that you are here and braved the crazy weather to be here. My name is Meg, like I said earlier, Megan Smidt, your Coach Meg. To give you a little bit of background on me, I have been a life coach for the past 8 years, kind of before it was like a thing to be a life coach, and basically it was a hobby business for me for the first about 5 or 6 years, and then I decided to go full-time. And when I did that, amazing things happened. I did a lot of the things that I'm going to be walking you guys through today to make that happen. My first year going full-time and rebranding as a legit business and not a hobby, my sales increased 178%. This past year was my second year as a full-time coach, and my sales increased 167% over that. So, I mean, that's pretty great. It makes me happy. But not only that, what I'm really happy about, I'm not all about the numbers, just so you guys know. What I really care about is the fact that I'm helping to change lives and change businesses. And I haven't had an opening in a while for coaching clients. Basically, as soon as one stops, I have another one get right back started. So I typically carry around 18 clients at a time, both personal life coaching and business life coaching, and or creative business coaching. And it's pretty cool to have this steady stream always coming in, but it's because I was clear with my vision. It's because I put systems in place that made sense. And now my business just continues to grow from that. And that's a lot of what we're going to talk about today. So I've been associated with the Women's Creative now for almost a year, I guess. We're going on almost a year now. And I will tell you, it's changed a lot in this past year. It started off being STL Women's Creative, and that's when I joined the scene. And it is night and day, but one thing that hasn't changed is their vision for their business. Now, your vision will not always be exactly the same for your business. As your business grows, as your life season changes, all these things, you should adjust your vision a little bit. But for the most part, your main vision will be the same, and we're going to be talking this through. We are going to start off tonight with really, normally when I do workshops, it's very interactive the whole way through, but we're not going to do that this way tonight. I'm going to be giving you a ton of information, okay? And then together we're going to work through a lot of this. And this is for the fact that it's recorded, so people will also be able to do this at home when they have the downloadable resources and everything. So at any point, if you have a question or anything, absolutely, you can ask it. But a lot of it, we might save it for the interactive time. But it's up to you. I don't mind answering questions as we go at all. A little bit more about me. So I'm 43 years old. I know I don't look it. People tell me all the time I don't look like I'm 43. I have 5 kids ranged 20 to 27. My youngest is my daughter, Vicky. She works at IKEA. If you go to IKEA at all, you have probably seen her there. I get texts from people all the time saying, oh, Vicky's doing a great job in customer service or whatever, and that's great. I love getting those texts. But so it's just my husband and I here with our 2 deaf dogs, our 2 deaf Great Danes, Luna and Solus, here in St. Louis. And because all my kids are big adults now, I can finally do my business full time. My background, though, is in retail management. I was in retail management, high-end retail management for about 15 years. I did managing, buying, all of that. My husband is an executive. I know a lot about business structure. But the main thing I focus on as my business is relationship and people. And you're probably going to hear that a lot through what we're talking about today, because that really is the backbone of any type of business that you do. So if you're not here for your business, that's okay too. All these principles that I'm going to be teaching you definitely can work just for your normal everyday life as well. So a little something for everybody. If I start talking about something and you're not sure how that could fit either for your personal life or for your business, just ask. I'd be more than happy to help walk you through that. Okay, so this class, as I've been saying on videos all week, is for you if you have a new business okay? Or maybe you have a business idea or like an entrepreneurial type idea that you want to expand on. Or if you need help really clarifying your focus for your business or your life, maybe for your current season. Or even how to take your vision to the next step and walking it out and really bringing to life the vision that you have. But really, you can use this class, all these things I'm going to be teaching you, in so many different things for your life and your business, you won't even believe it. Okay, so what my goal, though, is for you today, for our time together, is for you to really help you fall deeper in love with your brand or your business or your life. Anything else that you get out of this, totally fine. Because it's so hard when you've been in business for longer than a second. You get to the point where you might not even like what you're doing anymore. Like, it's like annoying at that point. And I want you to fall deeper in love with your brand, with your business, and then also balancing that with your life. What we're going to be working on is unlocking your business superpowers, okay? By teaching you how to cast vision for your business and then walking it out with solid, practical goals and resources. And I'm going to be giving you everything you need today to do that. So I will tell you, once I began actually casting vision for my business, it was an absolute game changer for me. And with my creative business clients that I work with, the one thing they always tell me is, this is the part nobody teaches. Like, this is the part that you can't see the webinar on. And this is the part that no one really talks about. They just expect you to kind of know what direction you're going in. And that just isn't really realistic. You can waste a lot of time with that. So this is always where I start, not only with my personal coaching clients, but also for my small business clients as well. So you'll notice you have a folder in front of you. Inside that, you're going to find a little journal. You're also going to find a stapled packet of papers. Go ahead and pull those out, those of you who are here with us. It's up to you whether you want to take notes in the little journal that I'm gifting you, or if you want to take notes on the handouts that are stapled there. Totally up to you. It's all for your personal use. I'm not going to ask for anything back. And for people who are watching this on a digital resource, you will be getting the packet that everyone here has to be able to walk through this yourself at home. Okay, so where we're going to be beginning tonight, and where I think we should all begin in talking about casting vision for your life or for your small business, is with creating space in your life. Okay, creating space. It's something we all fight against. We all love to jam-pack our schedules and not leave any room for anything. And what I want to do is I want to encourage you tonight to do something different when you leave here. When you are planning tomorrow, if you haven't already planned it yet, even if you have, I want you to go through and see where you can ink in some space in your day, for real, like time in your day, to dream and scheme in further casting your vision that we're going to be working on together. Then I actually want you to make that happen, like every day. Okay, not even like 3 times a week, like every day. I will tell you, this is the one thing my clients fight me on. Every time. They fight me on this. They're like, I don't have time for this. But you have time to like mindlessly sit on Instagram for who knows how long, or Pinterest, or watch Netflix for hours, or you do have time for this. And I will tell you, this will propel your business more forward than just about anything else that you can do. If you leave yourself some space to be filled up, to not be doing and not be going, but maybe dreaming a little bit, okay? And kind of just thinking through, reflecting, doing all sorts of things like that. So I'm telling you that the greatest lesson I've learned in not only in my own life, in intentionally planning my personal and my professional days, but really, but with all my clients, learning to temper the days with space for spontaneity, for whim, for anything that might happen, a conversation, like maybe I'm at a coffee shop and I'm gonna work, right? And then someone just starts talking to me. I'll actually talk to them. Weird, right? Like I won't just keep, no, I can't talk to you right now. I'm in the middle of doing all the things. No, I wanna get to know you, sit down with me, this can wait. It's changed everything for me. So, okay. I realized that like planning this time in your day, like something spontaneous, like dreaming or whatever, it's kind of like, sounds a little ridiculous. You're like planning being spontaneous with dreaming. I don't know. But I will tell you, you are not too busy and you do have time. I'm gonna tell you that right now. Don't even tell me that's your excuse, because you do. If you're gonna make having a very strong vision for your life and your business a priority, you do have time and you do wanna make this time. So, what I really want to do in talking about this first step in casting your vision for your brand, business, or your life, both personally, professionally, financially, relationally, we could talk all day long about all the different ways you can cast vision, okay? But I want you to give yourself some space so you can begin to explore the unimaginable possibilities that could come your way. So I want to give you a few small ways that you can add this into your life easily and seamlessly, okay? Super easy. And I know I'm spending a lot of time on this, but that's because people don't do it, guys. No one talks about this, okay? So the first thing is having quiet time. And this is the thing everybody fights me on. I'm not telling you to like spend 2 hours a day meditating. Spend 15 minutes just being present. Being right where you are, not thinking of your grocery list, not thinking of your to-do list, not thinking of all the orders that need to go out, not thinking of anything active like that, but really connecting with your thoughts and emotions right where you are. All you need is 15 minutes a day. There are great apps out there that can help you with this. Calm is a great app. You can meditate. You can take a bubble bath. You could go for a walk and just be thankful and share gratitude about what's around you. There's so many things that you can do. It's just not a very active thing. You're not actively thinking about your next meeting. You're not actively making something. You're really focusing on being present, okay? 15 minutes a day, that's it. What that does is it forces you to stop any kind of outward action that you could be doing and really focusing inward. The next thing is to have scheduled and unscheduled time blocks. Okay, I don't know about you, but I schedule time blocks in my day. All my whole day are time blocks. Does anyone not know what that is? Blocks of time. It could be an hour, it could be a half hour, it could be 90 minutes. It's up to you what your blocks of time are gonna be, but that's how you structure your day. So like, I might have a half hour block of time in my schedule where I'm answering emails, and I might have an hour and a half where I'm on a coaching call and then doing my follow-up from that. There's a million ways you can block out your time, right? But the one thing, and a lot of us do that, but one thing we usually don't do is schedule in like this space in our day for things like a conversation at a coffee shop, or things like actually taking longer going on a walk somewhere and actually letting yourself linger a little bit. That's something that really can make a big difference. The next thing with having this time in your day is really about logging this, how you're gonna plan this, okay? And I highly suggest that all of you have some sort of planner if you don't already. It can be digital, it can be actual, like a notebook. There's lots of different ways you can plan. I enjoy bullet journaling. There's lots of different ways that you can do this. But having that, and then also having a Google Doc, a Google document on your computer where you just dump every kind of thing you're thinking about your business into it. Okay, so you can do that in like a journal, analog, if that's your thing, totally cool. I'm that way as well. But also I recommend having one in your computer. That's just a big old giant brain dump of all the things you're thinking about for your business, okay? I have all of my clients do this. And I typically have them add me onto it and anyone else who's working with them on their brand. Okay, like so when I rebranded my business, I had my core group of 5. And all of them, I basically said, tell me everything you can think of about me. And I wrote it all out, all the adjectives, everything they could think of, so that my brand would be so me, it would be unmistakable, okay? All of them had access to this Google Doc. So if they woke up at 3 in the morning and and thought of something, they could put it in there. So you want to make sure it's people that you trust. If you do put other people on this, make sure they're safe and make sure they're not people that are just going to tell you what you want to hear. But primarily, this is for you to get the stuff out of your head and get it logged somewhere, and I promise you, you will use this forever. You will use this for copy on your website. You will use this for email newsletters you send out. You will use this stuff all the time. That's free. That's for you today. Okay, the next thing is making sure you have regular rest. If you don't rest, you cannot have clear vision, guys. So really making sure that you take 1 day a week and try not to do a whole lot of anything, if you can. If you can do half a day, do that. Work up to 1 day. Really try to do whatever you can to have rest. And if you need to communicate things to other people in your life so this happens, communicate it, okay? It's highly, highly worth it. And the last thing I want you to keep in mind is actually unplugging, okay? Everything will still be there, I promise, I've done it, okay? Making sure that you regularly take time to unplug. You don't even realize how plugged in you are until you unplug, and it feels so good. So the next thing is really, I think, a big reason why you're here, is we're gonna talk about actually crafting your strategic vision for your business or for your life, and or doesn't matter. First thing we need to do, and I probably drive people crazy with this, but I never just jump into action, guys. Typically, if you just jump straight into an action, you're gonna miss. You're gonna miss stuff and you're gonna have to back up anyway. So the first thing that we're gonna do is reflect in order to move forward with a vision. And if you've looked through the paperwork I've given you at all, there's a lot of reflection on there, and it's necessary. But you can't do the reflection if you don't give yourself the time and space to do the reflection, okay? If you just leave here tonight and you don't actually carve out the time, block out the time in your schedule to reflect on these things, this was a waste. So please don't do that. I will be so sad, okay? So those of us who are here, we're gonna spend some time together on this. But I promise you, you will be so happy if you actually, I wish I could go into your little calendars and like block it out for you, because it is that important, you guys. Okay, so we're gonna start with the big vision. We're gonna get smaller, I promise. But in the beginning, we're gonna start with your big vision. If you are a business owner at all, you probably have like your elevator pitch, right? Is that still a thing? I don't even know. Tagline, you could call it like a tagline maybe. You probably have your one sentence, this is what I do. And if you don't, let's talk, because I'm really big on that and really good at it. But so we're gonna come up with that here today. This is the only bit of working together that we're gonna do during the teaching part of this, because I think it's super important for everyone to hear kind of everybody's thoughts on this. So when you're trying to come up with your one sentence of your big vision for your business, you need to answer these 2 simple questions, guys. Okay, are you ready for this? You might want to write this down. What do you do? And what makes you different? That's where we begin for your big vision. What do you do? And what makes you different? Because there's a million life coaches out there right now, people, a million. None of them are like me. So what makes me different? I had to sit with this. And I sat with it for a while. And I sat with it with my little posse of 5 friends that I very strategically picked to talk into me with this. And that's where your Coach Meg was born. Okay, so what do you do? No matter what your business is, what do you do? And what makes you different? It's exactly how it sounds. It's the essence of what your business does, okay? If you are a web designer, you build websites. It's really like this simple, guys. If you are a potato farmer, you grow potatoes. Like, this is not complicated. We can make it complicated. You could stop here and like just say, I can't do it and walk out. But it really isn't that complicated. So, I need to tell you that you might have a side gig with what you do, right? So like, you might, be a web designer, let's say, and maybe you have a side gig doing like illustrations for some people. Well, that's great, or the potato farmer could have another field of like carrots or something. But what this needs to be is like the main thing of what you do, okay? The core stuff, what's at the core of your business. Because we all have we just want to make money, right? Like, I'll do whatever you want me to do. But so what's at the core of your business? That's where we start with the vision. Okay, another way of looking at this question, and I hope all your wheels are turning right now as I'm talking. That's why I keep talking. Another way of answering this question is really looking at who you help and how you help them. We could add that on here if that's helpful to any of you. Who do you help and how do you help them? If what you do for others is important to you, in your business, that might be a better way to look at this. Like for me, I have a service-based business, so that speaks to me personally. As a photographer, that could speak to you guys. Okay. What makes you different? This is how you figure out what makes your business stand out from the crowd. You want to ask yourself, why would a customer choose you over competitors? Why? What is it about you? What is it about what you do? What are your values? Where are you located? What community do you serve? Okay, I hope your wheels are turning with this if you don't already know the vision for your business. Just be thinking about this. So I have an example for you guys. An example of a big picture vision for a business could be, I serve the best damn hot dogs in St. Louis. Okay, I don't, but I could. But I think I learned a lot about this business just from that sentence. I serve the best damn hot dogs in St. Louis. Okay, I personally don't say damn when I'm talking to my customers and stuff, but I kind of could see how the hot dog guy, that's his people, right? He's speaking their language, that makes sense. If you're local, absolutely put your name in it. Sure, if that's what you're focused on, if that's your vision, sure, put the name of where you are in it if that's important to you. But really what really I love about this is the whole colloquial language just really, to me, represents these down-to-earth values of this hot dog guy, because that's American, that's baseball, I see him I want to go have a beer with this guy, but that's really his approach. His voice comes through in his vision. We want that, okay? Another example, does anyone want to share an example? Maybe you have. Have you come up with yours? Maybe. Those of us here. How about, I make people's day with handcrafted gifts? Yeah, that's lovely. It focuses on how it's really important to them that they're helping people through the gifts that they make. That's important. It's feel good, right? It feels good. It gets to the heart at what makes their business why they want to create these crafts. They get to the heart of it. So I have a client who, and I hope it's okay. I think it would be okay with her if I share this. Sorry. She, her vision for her business was something along the lines of, I make great stuff for amazing people or something. They were different adjectives, but something like that. But that really wasn't, she does that, but that really didn't capture her brand. So we changed that, and now it's, I make magical wares for the wild at heart. Gives you a totally different feel, right? Okay, that's what we're talking about. So, you really want this to catch someone's attention and really capture who you are, your vibe, your emotion, what it's like to actually work with you or buy your things, okay? So here's mine, I'm gonna give you guys. I'm a confetti-throwing life and small business coach that helps driven and compassionate women live balanced, intentional lives and businesses full of purpose, joy, and passion. Confetti. I wish I had it. I mean, she was the confetti, right? But I'm different than a lot of other life coaches. I know a lot of life coaches, and some of them are more, conservative. I mean, many of them don't have purple hair. Like I do the whole party thing. That's why I was so excited about these little fuzzy balls here. You want your personality, who you are, for your business to shine through. Okay. I normally would ask for questions or comments, but we're not doing that because I'm teaching, right? It's so weird for me. Okay, so next we're going to talk about some goals. And I promise we're going to be going deeper into the vision stuff when we're done with the teaching portion. So don't think I'm leaving you hanging there, okay? But so the next thing that we're going to do is talk about life and business goals. And, really before you get into the nitty-gritty of writing a really effective goal, you need to write out your business goals really broadly and kind of like we're doing with this vision, okay? And there's a reason why we're going in this order. So you have your big vision. I want you to start thinking about big goals, because the more you know your focus, where you want to focus in your business, the tighter you can get in your vision, okay? So don't worry for now about whether these goals that we're going to make and all these things are achievable. We're going to get to that. We're going to get to how to make them achievable. But really, it's just about getting the idea of the general direction that you want to go in with your business, and that's all about vision, okay? So for example, for your business, as you were brainstorming about 2019, you might think, I want to increase my sales figures, let's say money. Let's just say, I want to increase my sales. Or maybe I want to get more clients. Or maybe I want to earn enough from my business so I can quit my day job. That's a real thing, right? I want to expand my range of products that I offer. Maybe it's I want to go wholesale. Maybe it's I want to just really focus in on the product range that I really care about, not necessarily what people like or whatever. Maybe I need to hire a sales team to help grow my business. Maybe I need to improve my marketing so that I have more clients coming in. These goals could be a million other things that I haven't even listed. I just want to get your wheels turning. And some of you probably already know what your big goals are for 2019. Jot it down, keep it in mind for as we're going on. I really just want you to have this overall big picture of your goal for your business, especially thinking in terms of this year, 2019. Okay, and if you grew up how I did, we have a wide range of ages here, but I learned all about SMART goals when I was in school. I hope you did too, it's super fun. But basically the acronym stands for specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and time-bound. You've probably heard that before. You probably like to do that, but most people don't. Most people just say, I have a goal, and then it's done. Okay, like New Year's resolutions and all the things. That's why you get a life coach. Anyway, but so basically goals are really just a tool to get you really writing effective goals to motivate you with your business. Okay, that's SMART goals. And I will tell you the acronym SMART is not a one-size-fits-all thing. I'm going to give you some other examples of words you can use if it fits your brand or your business better. You can definitely adjust that acronym to make it work for your business. The S could be significant, it could be simple, it could be stretching, it could be sustainable instead of SMART or instead of specific. The M could be manageable or meaningful. It could be motivational. I've heard all these terms before, okay? The A could be acceptable. It could be achievable or action-oriented, you hear a lot. Adjustable, agreed, ambitious, assignable. There's a million A words, right? I love this. The English major in me is loving it. The R could be reasonable. It could be relevant. I hear that word a lot. Resourced or results-based. The T could be tangible, time-based. time sensitive, timetabled, trackable, lots of different words, right? And you're like, okay, Meg, let's keep going. Okay, so the first thing is though, we want to get specific about our goals. Okay, you have this, at this point, you're gonna have this overall picture of your vision. You're gonna have this overall picture of your big kind of goal for the year. And then we need to drill down and get specific about the smaller goals that are gonna be in there, okay? So, for example, if you're wanting to increase your sales figures, you might, in looking at that, you might decide that what really matters to you is, boosting your profit. Making more sales is a great way to boost your profit. You guys know all about this, right? But as you're being specific, you also know you need to look at other ways to boost your profit, like maybe like cutting costs. So that's how we're gonna drill deeper on this. So at the surface level, I just want to increase my sales figures. Well, so okay, but then how can I really walk this out? Well, to do that, I need to maybe make more sales. Okay, then how am I going to do that? Go down that rabbit trail. Maybe I need to cut costs. What are some of the costs that I can cut for my business to have better sales figures? So that's what we're going to be doing together. You want to ask, what do you want to increase in your sales figures of? Okay, so we're asking the why, we're going to ask the what. Do you want to go across the board with all your products with this, or just certain products? Do you want to just focus on your most profitable products? Really drilling down how you're going to do this. Okay, this is what I do with all of my business clients. Then you're going to ask, how do I make this happen? So we did the why, we did the what, and now we're going to do the how. How do I make this goal happen? Or what do I need to do to make this happen? What do I need to change about what I'm doing? And then through that, we break these down into smaller goals so that we eat this elephant one bite at a time, right? So you might even have smaller visions within your bigger vision. So I think you guys get what I'm talking about, so we're gonna move on. Different ideas that you could have for these smaller goals to obtain your bigger vision could be things like upgrading your website design. Maybe it's been a couple years and you need a new website. Maybe that's a thing. Maybe you need to get more traffic to your website and then strategize that way. Maybe it's improving your copy of your product descriptions. Maybe that would make a big difference for you. Maybe getting more knowledge about your business, reading different books, or hiring a coach or consultant to help you with your business. Maybe it's joining some sort of a mastermind group. There's a million things that you could do, and I'm gonna be here to help all of you guys here today walk through all of that, okay? So the next thing, you have to make that goal measurable, okay? There is no point in having a goal at all if it's not measurable. If you don't know how you can crunch the numbers or do what you need to do to see that this goal is even a success. It has to be able to be measurable, and all of the sub goals that you make need to be measurable as well. So, how much more traffic do you want to have for your site? Figure that out. Do you even know where the traffic is coming from to your website? Do you know what your biggest generators of that is? Is it social media? Is it Facebook? Is it Pinterest? What is it? If you don't know that, you need to go a little bit further so that you can't even know where to focus on building the traffic to your website. Knowing which figures to set can be super tricky, but I will tell you, the more that we come together in groups like this, the more we can even figure out these things, what works for markets, what doesn't, all these other things. Okay, the next thing is making your goals attainable, okay? Be realistic, and that is really hard for us, I know. My clients tell me all the time, one of the big things that I do when they come to me with their goals they already have is to say, okay, well, we need this to be realistic, but we also need it to be a challenge. And you can get there, okay? I tend to shoot for pie in the sky, like crazy things, and then about halfway through my year, I'm like, okay, time to be realistic, Meg. I want to encourage you today to be realistic, but definitely challenge yourself. Okay, because right now might not be that time the right time, or things might happen that it's not the right time for that thing you want in the future, but you can absolutely be laying the foundation for it now. Okay, and I know that probably speaks to some of you here. It spoke to me about a year ago. Happened to me. Oh my gosh. Okay. So if you through this, you can ask yourself things like, what has my business achieved in the past? That was good. What has it achieved in the past? What have businesses of similar size achieved when it comes to this? Instagram followers, website views, whatever, sales numbers. How big is the actual overall market for your product or your niche? Is it realistic? How much of the market does your business currently serve? Is there an aspect of your market that you're missing out on? Okay. So some of these questions you can answer for yourself, but things that you can't, I highly encourage you to make friends here today and to get a group of people together that you can actually talk through these things with. Okay, it makes a huge difference. We're all your people. Okay. And the next thing is having goals be realistic. Really, how much extra time do you have to put into your business to increase whatever? Realistically, guys. Okay, now a lot of times we do waste time. We do waste resources. We waste energy. But so if you give yourself a set time or whatever that you're going to work with, make sure you're being realistic with what you're doing. Are your goals consistent with your bigger vision that you originally came up with? What problems might happen if you that could stop you from achieving the goals? Is there family stuff that could come up? Is there, are there other issues? Maybe employees quitting. I mean, there's a lot of things that can happen that can make you not achieve your goals. What's realistic? Okay. We really need to be honest with ourselves with what's possible to achieve, but not be afraid to dream big at the same time. And I know it's kind of a crazy balance, but it is possible. And the next thing is really establishing a time frame. So we've made the goals specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and now we need to have a time frame for them. Having that reality in there will help you, I promise. Having them be realistic. But if you're planning to increase your sales by 10%, when are you planning to do that by? If you don't have a time frame for that, you could go on doing that forever and never attain it, really. You want to make sure you're giving yourself a time frame on these things and hold yourself accountable to it. Okay, so I would love to go deeper into goals. It's so my jam, you guys, but we don't have time. But what I do want to encourage you with, what I suggest every business owner does as far as goals, is once you have this vision that we're going to be working on together, you need to make your year goals. You need to make 6-month goals, okay? Quarterly goals, monthly goals, weekly goals, and then daily. That's how you eat the elephant one bite at a time. But if you don't know what your big picture goal is, it's impossible. You're gonna just be saying yes and no and maybe to like everything. You need to have this clear vision so you don't waste your resources, to be honest. So I am doing a goal setting workshop February 23rd where we're gonna go super deep into that, the information's in your folders, but we're focused on vision. But vision and goals go hand in hand, so I definitely wanted to talk to you about that today. Another thing about goals I want to mention is that make sure that they speak to you. Okay, make sure that your goals are exciting and really get you excited, not just having a goal because your friend has it too, or having a goal because that's what someone said you should have as your goal. Okay, make sure that your goals mean something to you, who you are authentically at your core, who your business is at its core. Make sure it makes sense for you and not just what everyone else is doing, okay? Because I don't know about you, but if I look up one thing for my business on the internet, I get inundated with ads and webinars and everything everywhere I go. And none of it speaks to me though, because it's all what all these other life coaches want to be doing and not what I want to be doing, I could get really distracted by that and completely waste my time and completely be doing things that have nothing to do with what my clients even want, but it's what everyone else is doing. I have to be careful to stay in my lane, okay? So personally what I did, so instead of following a bunch of life coaches when I became a life coach, I started following all you guys. I started following just a bunch of creative people because you guys are actually like fun and creative and do interesting things. I don't want to do what other coaches are doing. I want to think outside the box because that's me and that's my brand and that's my vision for my brand. And that's how I know the right people are going to find me and I'm going to find them. Okay, not to say that those other life coaches aren't doing their thing. They are, and they're great, but that's not my thing. That's the mindset I want you in here today as we continue. So you want to keep your goals exciting and pertinent to actually your brand and what you're doing. And don't be afraid of that. You are who you are for a reason, girls, okay? You are made to be exactly who you are for a reason, and you need to shine in that. Okay, so all that to say, the next thing that we're going to talk about is wherever you're at with your business, whether it's brand new, whether it hasn't even been born yet, whether you've been in business for 10 years, you absolutely can benefit from going through these things, writing down your goals, knowing what your vision is, all of this stuff. It never ends, okay? And you're gonna see that when I go through the exercise that we're gonna be doing together, how I did it for myself. You'll be able to see how your vision can adjust and will adjust and should adjust as you go throughout in your goals too. And just know that like when life happens and mid-year something happens and you need to adjust what you said at the beginning of the year, do it. Just do it. It's okay. You haven't failed. You're just human and life happened and you just need to adjust. It's all right. What would be crazy would be to keep doing a course that doesn't make sense anymore. That's crazy. Don't do that. Please don't do that. Okay. So, the other thing I want to talk about along with vision before we get into all the fun stuff is really understanding that the key to success is really the ability to notice and seize opportunities that come your way. Okay? Y'all probably know what I'm talking about. If you don't, if you're so head down and focused on just doing the thing and not looking up, not creating that space in your day, in your schedule to notice what's happening around you, you might be missing these opportunities that are coming your way for a reason and they might just pass you by. Okay, I need you to be expectant of these things happening for your business. Okay, I need you to be looking for them. And as long as they're in line with your vision, you're not going to miss it. If you don't have a vision, you're going to be seizing opportunities that aren't even yours. And you're probably going to be wasting time and taking longer to get to where you want to be. Does that make sense? Okay, good. I'm telling you, I see it happen all the time. It's super important when your vision is so clear. These opportunities kind of come out of nowhere, but it's because you got focused and you're noticing what it is and you're going to act on it, and that could take you to a whole new level that you never even could have thought of on your own. Okay, so we're going to be writing a vision statement. Okay, and you might already have this for your business. I don't know. If you don't, it's okay because I got you. We're here today. So, but basically, what your vision statement does, and I'll tell you my personal life coaching clients, we do this for their life too. We do this for their life because that's then what they're going to say yes or no to. If it's not in that vision statement, it's an automatic no, not right now. Okay? I help my clients do it for their families. I did it with my own kids. When I had these 5 teenagers under my roof, I was like, I was saying no all the time, right? So like together we came up with our family vision statement so that the kids stopped even asking me stuff because they knew if it didn't fit into what we came up with for our family vision statement, it was an automatic no because it didn't fit with our vision. The same thing for your business. That's why this is crucial, you guys. Okay, it makes it so easy to know which direction to go. So this is, your vision statement is very future oriented. At the same time, it also gives you this kind of guiding light for the day-to-day of how to run your business, okay? So this can be one line, it can be several sentences, it could be several paragraphs. It's up to you, but basically it provides the direction and inspiration for your business, your brand, or your life. Okay, it sets out your most important goals that you need to be focused on, but it doesn't necessarily include the plan to achieve those goals. That's what the goal setting is all about. That's where this kind of is coming full circle and goes hand in hand. So it outlines things like how you help people and the value that you're offering to the world and what you're doing and what you plan to achieve as a business. It really should be written in ordinary language, just like we would be talking or whatever, the language that is meaningful to you or your customers or your employees. And try to avoid any kind of business jargon if you can, because that changes anyway. And that's not from your heart. That's, business jargon. So we want to keep it as like plain language as we possibly can. A vision statement's three things. The first thing it is aspirational. And that is about your goals. Once you achieve your vision, you're going to need to write a new vision statement. That's the goal, I guess. Inspirational, in that it provides life and direction for your day-to-day work, okay? And it absolutely does. And it needs to be motivational, in that it provides a reason why you do the work that you do. So like your why. You hear that talked about a lot. So the reason why I do what I do isn't to make millions and millions of dollars, even though that's why a lot of life coaches do what they do. And that's great. There's nothing wrong with that. That's their why. That's their motivation. Totally fine. The reason why I want to do what I do is because I really want to help change the world, one person, one friend group, one business, one family at a time. Period. Simple. That's my why. That's what gives me motivation. That's why my price is where they are. That's my vision. Okay. So there's lots of different ways you can kind of work to bring your vision to life. A lot of people do vision boards. I teach vision board classes. Vision boards are great. We could do that another time. We're not going to do that today. But we're going to do something kind of like that together. A little bit more simple than that. But questions that I usually have people ask themselves when they are kind of brainstorming about their business to kind of further go through this is, who does your business help? Specifically, who? What people group or what animal group or whatever? Who does your business help? What's the purpose of your business? How do you want to make the world a better place with your business? What problems does your business solve, and what is the ultimate aim for your business? And I will tell you, mine has changed since I started 8 years ago. I've rebranded 4 times, okay, in that time. That's smart business sense. And that's me honing my craft. That's me realizing and seizing the moment with where I am and what I'm doing and what life stage I'm in, what makes sense for my family even, okay? Okay, so I've given you a ton of information, right, about your vision and about how you're gonna put this together. And I really, those of you who are here, we're gonna work on this together. We're gonna work through all this information, all these questions, and we're gonna get rid of everything that doesn't really get to the core of what your business is. And I'm telling you, as you're going through this stuff, you need to be ruthless. You literally need to get rid of the stuff that's not for right now. Okay, maybe it was for last year, or maybe it's for you in 2 years. Okay, but if it's not for right now, we need to let it go. Maybe put it in that Google Doc for later, or whatever. We really want to make sure that we're focused on the more near future, not the 20 years or 10 years future. But we're talking 2019, because I feel like I want to leave you with what your next steps are. And that's how I can do that, is by us here today. We're talking about 2019 vision, okay? All right, so you want to take that skeleton of your vision statement that you've made and craft it into something really special. You want to write this out. You're going to use short words and sentences to keep it engaging, okay? It doesn't need to be flowery. It doesn't need to be super eloquent. All the ones I've seen that way, like, I always have to ask questions about what their vision is. And if I have to ask questions, then what's the point? Then you probably have questions too. Even though you might be a great writer, you want to keep it simple. Okay. You also want to really, make sure that you're using words that really capture, like we said earlier, the feeling, the emotion, all the things behind your brand. And focus on what your business does for others, or really like how you help your customers and inspire your employees. Okay. It's totally okay for this to be messy. It's okay for this to take a while. It's okay to cross out a bunch of stuff. Totally fine. This is like a safe space, right? It's okay. It can take a little while to come up with this. What I suggest to my clients that I have do this exercise, I have them carve out at least a half hour to just write a big old free write, where they're just dumping a bunch of stuff out of their head, and then later going back and making it a little pretty, and getting rid of the things that don't really matter, and going back through that. Another thing you can do is ask for feedback, and especially if you have a staff, I highly recommend that you do that, okay? You want to take what you've created when you're at that point and ask, like I said earlier, a core group of people. If it's just you, if you're a sole business owner, ask a couple people, very strategic people that you trust, what they think. If you have employees, absolutely go to them and see what they think, and ask everyone to be super honest with you, not just say, oh, that's great, you're so great, everything you do is wonderful. That's not what we're looking for, okay? Really be honest, and kind of keep that in mind when you're thinking of who you're going to ask to look over this stuff. And then after you've collected all the feedback, you can then know what's your best vision statement. And don't freak out if it isn't perfect. You can always be adjusting it forever and ever. It's okay. This is not perfection, all right? And then you want to continually review it. You want to put it somewhere where you're going to see it. You're going to want to put it somewhere where you're not going to just like put it in a drawer and ignore it, but actually this needs to guide decisions that you make. We need to make goals out of this. When I have a client make a vision statement, we go through and that's what we pull all of their goals out of, okay? This is big stuff that nobody does for their business. All right, so at this point, the teaching part of this is done. You, at this point at home, you would go ahead and you would get out your packet of information and start doing some of the reflection that's in there, these reflective questions, and then it walks you through actually crafting this vision. The next part of it, after you do all of you guys can probably see in front of you, there's a ton of reflective questions, right? Yeah, okay. After that, you are going to have your vision for the year. Then we have an exercise that we're all going to do together, and I'm just going to explain it for the people who are doing this later. Is you, in your journal or on whatever paper you decide to do this on, you are going to compare what your vision from last year or what you've done in the past with your business, maybe what your vision was in the past for your business, and then comparing that to what your business can look like, or what your vision is going to be for this year with your business. And I do have an example in your packet. I'm trying to find mine here. Where you can see, all of you at home and all of us here, you can see for my own business how I did this. To where last year, my vision for my business was to build relationship in person here in St. Louis. I moved back to St. Louis in April, so I haven't even been here a full year yet. But my vision for moving back here, I only lived here a year before that too. Like, I was not here long. But I had to come back because it's my home. It's definitely home. But so my goal was that everyone I came in contact with would know that I'm a life coach, would know that I do creative small business coaching, would know I would build a relationship with these people, like legit, like doing life with people here in St. Louis. So you can see on here, I did workshops. I did some free meetups, still doing both of those. I focused on my email list locally. I did a lot of helping others. I did a lot of trading services with other businesses to build that relationship so they could see what I do. I did a lot of free resources for people. I extended help anywhere I could. My business cards and flyers were everywhere. I did that very on purpose. I did a lot of local collaborations. I did a lot of local discounts that I didn't offer outside of St. Louis. I was at every market I could possibly go to meet all the makers and creators. I bought a lot of stuff, because I do anyway. I love buying all of your stuff. I have a great referral program. That's probably what did this like crazy. So building a relationship as a business owner, you need referrals. It's word of mouth, right? So I have this referral program where if you refer someone to me to coach with me and they do 4 sessions, I give you a $50 gift card of your choice or $50 towards coaching with me. So I have one friend here in St. Louis who coached with me, and literally like at least once a month I'm sending her a gift card somewhere because she sends so many people to me. It's amazing. So I focused on that and building relationship. I did local social media build. I focused on local hashtags. I focused on all the local things. And so yeah, you can see all that on here. This year, for 2019, my vision for my business is focusing on building my business resources that I offer. I'm building the business side of my business, my helping small businesses. So you can see on here all of the things that I plan on focusing on this year. So I will grow in that. So if someone comes to me with this great idea to go on a cruise and speak to a bunch of ladies about, washing their face or whatever that is, I'm going to say no to that, because this year I'm focusing on my business resources. Not necessarily I'm still going to have personal life coaching clients. I'm still going to help my personal life coaching clients to the best of my ability. But I already have all those resources for them. I need to build my business resources. So that's what I'm focusing on. Does that make sense? We good? Okay. So you're going to be able to do that at home. We're going to do that here together. The last thing I want to leave you with is really how to stay committed to this, because it's easy to come to these kind of workshops and watch these things and be like so excited and gung-ho, and then you go home and you're like, whoa, now it's back to the grind and I'm not even doing what I'm supposed to do. So, number one way to stay committed, please review your goals often and remember why you set them. Review your vision often and remember why you set it. Make a vision board when you get home. Come to one of my vision board classes. Let's make one together. Do whatever you need to do to have this be at the front of your mind. After you make your sheet that we just went through together, screenshot it, have it on your phone. Whatever you need to do to make this at the front of your mind all the time. Then you need to break down these goals that we're going to make together today, and you need to break them into these small, easy, actionable goals. You always want to do them in the right order too. Don't start at step 10 if you haven't done step 1. Okay. Accountability. Not only can you track your own progress, but please hire a coach. Find your core group to help hold you accountable. Do whatever you need to do. Join a mastermind, whatever, to have the accountability you need to keep going. We all need you to keep going. We want to buy your stuff. We need what you're putting out in this world. We need you to keep going and growing and having a bigger vision so we can then reap the benefits of your knowledge and your business and your products, okay? Don't have any excuses. The only thing that can come between you and your goals are your excuses, guys. And we all were really good at them, right? We can justify not doing anything. Please don't have excuses. If you want something bad enough, you are going to find a way for it to happen, period. Okay. And the last thing, self-forgiveness. Nobody's perfect. We're not even looking for that. We're looking for progress. And be kind to yourself that way. None of us are perfect. None of us in here. You're always going to have ups and downs. You're going to have an ebb and flow to your life, and try to ride those waves. Don't try to crash them, but ride that ebb and flow. Go along with it. Organically put your life in order to where it's going to work. Don't try to fight it just because that's what your friend's doing. Figure out what's going to work in your home, with your business and your family, and have it be a natural progression, okay? It always works so much more smoothly, I promise. I've been through it. Okay, so the next thing is realizing that you are in community. And I will tell you, I've lived lots of places now in my life, and this is one of the most creative communities I have ever been a part of. You have a wealth of information, not only here in this room, but in this city, and you're probably missing out on a lot of it. And think about, what changes do you want to see here in this community? How can you make an impact with that? We all can, whether it's personally or professionally with our business. What changes do you want to see, and what with that falls in line with your brand or your business? How can you contribute to the change that you want to see here? Specifically, how can you do that? That's going to get you excited about what you're doing. And it's all a bigger picture. We're all in this together. We're all here to help each other. I love it when someone comes to me and tells them this great idea they have, and I want to be a part of it too. How can I help? Talk to us about these ideas you have. Maybe together we can make some big thing happen and atom bomb some big issue that we have here. But we can't if we don't talk about it, okay? So, one thing that you're going to see very quickly after you start walking some of this out and putting this into practice is that there's a really positive side effect to living your vision. Okay, guys? When you bring your best to the world, you're automatically going to make a positive impact wherever you are. And we're all meant to do it in a completely different way from each other. You do not need to do what the other person is doing. As you become a master artist of your life, as you bring your authentic brand to life, you're naturally going to inspire other people to do the same thing, whether it's in your family, your friend group, your customers, your employees, any of these things. So please continue with what you're doing, being so true to who you are, authentically who you are at your core, towards making this vision a reality, because we all need you to. We all need your gifts. We all need your craft. We all need it, okay? Not just you. You're gonna make me miss out if you don't do this. I don't wanna miss out. So, we need everything that you have to give, so please take this seriously. And then the last thing I'm gonna want you to do before you leave or before you finish this exercise is figure out, what are your next 3 steps gonna be? After you have your vision, after you have it clarified and know some of your goals for the year, break it down into the year, the 6 months, the quarterly, the monthly, the weekly, the daily. What are your 3 next steps that you're gonna do tomorrow? Okay? And that's it. I'm gonna leave you all with that. We're gonna do some hard work here. I hope you do some hard work at home, and I hope that was helpful.